what I do.
Fannie Lou Hamer. They came in there as themselves, and they forced America to accept themselves for who they are. And I mean, we can rehash the civil rights movement 100 times. When I talk about resistance, see, while the rest of these folks were trying to assimilate, okay, while the rest of these people were trying to assimilate, black folks were in Selma, Alabama, fighting against some of the most racist people in the country. We would dress ourselves up in our Sunday best, and we would march our black selves down the middle of these people's streets and bridges and highways and force them to accept that we wasn't ducking and dodging and hiding and sneaking around, trying to, can you reclassify me as white? As if I can't tell that your butt is not white when I'm looking at you. You can be white all day on your ID, but when I'm looking at you, you look very black. This is no different than somebody saying, well, I identify as a woman. I identify as a masculine presenting lesbian femme. Like, get out of here. Are you crazy? That's what this is what the white folks was telling the Mexicans back. You identify as what? What do you identify as, Jose? You look like a goddamn fool. That's what they thought. And so they thought they were stupid, so they never took them serious about that. Meanwhile, you got these black folk, Martin Luther King, John Lewis, Hosea Williams, Amelia Robinson, being defiant. You are going to, I don't care how many water hoses you whip out. They had to literally violent suppression to stop black folks from voting. You're going to let me vote. I'm not going to come in here and try to make my skin light and pretend that I'm white and come vote. No, you're going to have hundreds of black marchers attempting to cross the Edmund Pettus Bridge in Selma, Alabama with state troopers. And you're going to hit us with these clubs, tears and whips and whatnot. You're going to attack us, but we going to still be black. And the nation is going to watch you. And we're going to come back again. Unarmed, they went down there. They wasn't out there burning flags with your sad selves. You have black men, women, and children who were unarmed in their Sunday best, singing church songs, walking out there protesting. They called it Bloody Sunday. It was so bad. For what? For voting rights. The same voting rights that everybody else benefits from. We had to get them to ban literacy tests and discriminatory voting suppression tactics. They give you the right to vote and say, well, you can't vote unless you can recite the Constitution word for word. You know darn well folks fresh off the plantation can't do that. But the main thing you have to understand is we resisted as we are. We didn't try to fake and fraud and pretend to be something else we not. That's why these people will never be like us. That's why we have the superpower. That's why they confessing and begging and trying to get us to come off the bench. No matter how many of our people were murdered and beaten, whether we talk about Medgar Evers in 1963 and Jimmy Lee Jackson in 1965, along with James Caney and the little Jewish boy, Andrew Goodman, and Michael, they murdered in Mississippi in 1964. We went as we were. You understand that? We went as we were. From the NAACP to the Congress of Racial Equality, from SNCC, which is the Student Nonviolent Coordinating Committee, young black students, and we went down there, shout out to Magnus Johnny Harris. Now imagine, let me tell you how bold our people were. Students from Chicago and back east. They took buses and cars all the way down to Mississippi and said, we're going to do exactly what you said not to do. We're going to register our people to vote. Now, if you Latinos want to impress me, I want all you Latinos with papers. I want all y'all to go down there and start trying to help your Latino brothers and sisters who are about to get sent or help them fill out their immigration papers in front of ICE. That's what I want you to do. Okay? Because at that point, you risk the chance of being put in handcuffs and sent home. If you really mean it, do it like that. Shout out to Silent Woman. That's what our people did for us. We went down, we didn't send white folk down to Mississippi to register folk. We didn't ask nobody else to come save us. Some white folk that came along with us, but we did it ourselves. So along with being courageous, we also forced them to accept us as who we are. You understand me? I mean, even our students, our black college students in Greensboro, they had some sit-ins in the 1960s. They refused to leave the lunch counter. Not that they wanted that nasty food that them white folks was cooking. You know, white folks don't put no seasoning in the food. It's just because you won't tell me what I can't do. You will not tell me what, and I'm gonna show up here with my black self and I'm sitting on your nice, comfortable chair, and you not gonna move me unless you get some brutality going on. And then you're gonna look like the savage that you are. That's how you're gonna accept us for who we are. We're not gonna try to pretend we white. We're not gonna, that's not what we're gonna do. We're going to have everything we want, and we still going to maintain our blackness. Whether we talk about the Montgomery boycotts from 1955 to 1956, Rosa Parks got arrested, was led by Dr. King. They boycotted that bus for 381 days. They went broke. It proved that economic power is foundational Black Americans. You're going to accept us who we are. You won't have a bus company. The Freedom Rise, 1961, organized by Core and SNCC, challenged segregation in interstate travel. You had town, you couldn't stop in the town overnight. Shout out to Calvin MCA. They had sundown towns. And yeah, people were attacked, people were beaten, even bombed. The federal government had to come enforce desegregation in bus terminals. Held a march on Washington in 1963. Was organized by A. Philip Randolph. 250,000 people showed up. And you all know Dr. King delivered a speech, I Have a Dream. But see, the march was more than about dreams. It was about jobs. It was about fair wages. It was about voting rights. It was about forcing America to accept us for who we are. And that was after that in 1964 that Lyndon B. Johnson, he outlawed segregation in the Civil Rights Act in public places and banned unemployment and discrimination and based on race, color, religion, and sex. If we had just said, well, we'll just be white, we'll just find us some white folk and marry them, and we'll try to get like the Mexicans do and the Latinos do, and the Jewish people would just do what they did, we wouldn't need this. But Black folks said, no, we will bend this country to our will. The Fair Housing Act in 1968. Oh, you don't want us living next to you? Well, we're going to do it anyway. We're going to have our black selves right there in the park, sitting right there in the bench, right next to you. We're going to outlaw redlining. We're going to move right into your little lily white neighborhoods. And we not going to pretend to be white. Period. We got the lending. We made the banks change. Got rid of this discriminatory lending practices. This is who we were. And all this done in less than 100 years out of slavery. You understand that? And then if you start looking at the Black Power movement, self-determination, economic empowerment, self-defense. The Black Panther Party for self-defense from 1966 to 1982. Huey Newton, Bobby Seale, started in Oakland, California. It said, we are going to protect our communities from police brutality. Them boys used to come out there with them guns. They said, we have the right to open carry. And we have a right to stand within, I think it was 15 feet of the police to observe them in a peaceful manner. They didn't need cell phones. They had rifles, and many of them had military training. That's what we did. That's how bold we were. And you're going to accept us for who we are. We're not going to be out here trying to buddy with you and get in the old boy system and make our way through and change our last name and all that sort of stuff. No, we're going to stand here as Black people, and you're going to respect. It was women in the Black Panther Party. Basically, we challenged white supremacy by training Black communities to defend themselves legally and physically. Even in politics, Shirley Chisholm, All right, 1968, first black woman elected to run the country. She went there as herself. Look at some of her pictures. Just black and unapologetic about it. What's up? Welcome to the broadcast. This is Uncle D. People wash their ass in the tub, Kamala Harris.
You would tune in to Uncle D. This black man talk. Pull up, homie, take a seat. Don't be a shadow watcher every day. You learn something, then you earn something. Let them know and drop some money in the plate. It's getting cold, ladies, talking ratchet. There's a king here, grab your coat, zip your jacket. Keep quiet for a second, close your jaw. Attorney Spurling, this ain't pearly, know the law. Talking Constitution, pushing pins when he shooting, give him that. Masculinity, just for the record, sprinkle that. You can keep your cat, gotta cut it. Only cat he rubbing, gotta love it. I call it Molly Buddy. Gotta vote your interest, voting earns. Presidential, this is for the money that I earn. When you gon' learn, my people, that evil mixed with evil. No matter what you're doing, baby, this ain't equal. Sometimes when you're special, you get hated. The test is for the best, you're damn right, my people made it. Uncle D, Blizzard King, you been served, gotta notice. Now black men out here know we winning, gotta hold it now. Uncle D, you been served, get your notice now. Black men out here know we winning, gotta hold it now. Uncle D, you been served, get your notice now. Black men out here know we winning, gotta hold it now. Uncle D, you been served, get your notice now. Black men out here know we winning, gotta hold it now.
Hey man, I'll do what I do.
Somebody need to whip your ass.
Get up and whip him, Sweets.
Hey, don't be putting the money in my hand all rough.
Take your ass out here. You buy you a Floby and cut your own damn hair from now on.